Hi, welcome to the Federal. I'm Harish Upadhyaya. In 2018 November, a 6-year-old tigress was killed in the Yavatmal region of Maharashtra. It was accused that the tiger had killed 13 people in the area. A massive search operation was launched, and later on, a civilian hunter killed this tiger. There were several question marks on how the operation went on whether the right tiger was identified or the tiger which was responsible for some of these killings. Well, the movie starring Vidya Balan, Sherry, which is also said to be on the same incident. All the filmmakers have put out a disclaimer that it's not based on this incident. Now, this movie has taken a lot of creative liberty to also have a script that might not have all the details of this particular operation that went on. Several people who were part of it say that there are loose ends in this particular movie that has come out. Well, we have today Dr. Prayag, who is part of this operation. He's a chief wildlife veterinarian. He's also an expert in resolving in human wildlife conflict. He was part of this operation in Yavatmal. He perhaps knows how the entire operation panned out and also what eventually happened. Welcome, Dr. Prayag.
Thank you, Harish. So, yeah, though,
Dr. Prayag, you've seen the movie. There's a lot of
yep.
creative liberty that the makers have taken, obviously, to put out a real life incident onto the screen. But what are some of the glaring differences that you've seen? What transpired in Yavat Mahal and what really came out in this particular movie starring Vidya Balan?
Okay, let me put a disclaimer. As per the movie is concerned, they have put a disclaimer, so we can't comment on that. If they had put a slide telling that it's based on true events, then we had a lot of bone of contentions. However, people who have been part of the operation all believe that the way it is being shown in the movie is definitely they're hinting at T1, where a private guy was called to capture, in fact, but later on it turned out to be a hunting uh, spire. Like what I realize is the film doesn't detail the actual events. It's a fictionalized character, a fictionalized film. So main differences, what I feel with the film and the real episode is, uh, in the film it is shown that after Vidya Balan comes, the killing starts happening. Unlike in the real thing, by the time Abharna was played by Vidya Balan, already five killing would have happened in the real life. That is one factual error. Second thing is, though attempt was made, though people disturbed the thing, that part is bit similar. But if you look at the characterization of the entire thing, Vidya Balan plays a role of DCF IFS officer. The real life it is Abharna, but in there, we have one character, Nangya, I believe, if I'm right. So, the superior to Vidya, who takes over the charge when a lot of killing happens. But in real life, it's other way around. In fact, the present PCC of wildlife was Sunil sir. He was very much supportive throughout the operation, and in fact, he was one of the person instrumental in getting me there to the operation. So, but in the movie, they've showed him initially as a good officer, but by the end of the film, he has been caricatured as if he was playing the tunes of the politician, which was not a fact. In fact, he was for saving the tiger. Apart from that, there's one character called Nurani, but it's based, I feel, loosely based on Virani, was very much part of the capture NTCA committee. Uh, the only thing which is common, who has been in the film also as well as in the real life. So the perspective, what he tells, probably they must have taken it, and nowhere they have taken other perspective except for the one credit which goes to Ranjit Jadhav, who was being very important press reporter, was being documenting the entire episode. Probably they must have listened to his stories or referred his stories. Especially interviewing Nawab was the wonderful thing what Jadhav did. Coming to movie, there's a lot of technical things. The initial thing in Act One, where Vijayabalan goes to check the water. She tell watering hole. Watering hole is different from water hole. There's nothing watering hole. Water hole is where you fill the water from outside. Watering hole is something from inside. These are slight technical which makes the movie, make us feel that okay, they're not done enough research if they're really telling a story scientific way. Apart from that, they deal with landscape issues. Okay, they don't deal with actual issues. The landscape issue. What since my wife is also IFS officer, I've seen the life of a DFO with a weapon lady from very close quarters. And one factual error is in the film they showed he works in a chips factory, right? Vidya Balan's husband. In real life, Avarna ma'am is also IAS officer, so is his husband IAS officer. So coming to that much more detailed thing is, as you proceed in the movie, this guy self-invites himself to the thing. Yeah, that much is true. Wherever he goes, he invites. Abhana must have told, no, because I don't know that part of story, but definitely he does that thing that no, he goes and self-invites, claiming to be a conservationist. And later on, when in the real life, he did get the permission from CCF. Probably he must have used his political connection, and he gets. That's where I started, taking the interest, like because I had worked with this Nawab and Nawab Chapat Khan, and I knew the very intention was not to capture the tiger because if you see the entire career, hardly one he must have captured, and that too has darted the dart on the face. It's very much on the internet. You can Google the image. Apart from that, I've not seen him saving tigers or any big cats. It's more of shooting the disguise of saving it. And his idea of conservation is completely against the tenets of conservations. So there he goes and self invites, asking Vidya Balan, no, please take me, I'm an expert. And he doesn't have a plan. Even when he's called, he doesn't have a plan and he tells everything. And that part is true. Even Nawab claims that everything he knows, like that part and some of the dialogues, I think Virani must have given exact dialogues, which was very surprising for me. That's the reason I feel he must have narrated the perspective, especially when he tells no, by looking at the eyes of the tiger, I can tell whether it's a man-eater or
We
not.
get to know if it's a man-eater, yes.
Yeah, those are things which were really happened in the story. That what made me, obviously it has been taken from a guy who's playing that role. Black guy with next to Vidya Balan is the real guy who was part of the operation. Yeah. So apart from that, a lot of things where I didn't agree was uh, the political thing was very much true. A lot of political issues were there. Apart from that, the characters, the way they showed CCF running away from his office, those things I don't agree on that. No, he's IF's officer, yeah. Like you can always tell, look, don't thing. And second thing is people partying at Tiger Reserve, never heard of. Inside the core area, never heard of. Especially in Maharashtra, where eating non-veg in a restaurant is prohibited. Forget about alcohol. So Maharashtra is very strict on that because I had gone and stayed in the guest house. They don't even serve non-veg there. Yeah. So alcohol is beyond thing. Those are the things which is not factual. And
Also,
in fact, when we went there, when I was called officially, when we went there, we team of vets, we identified the tiger as lactating. So because we got a photo where there was a nipple which was matted when the tiger cubs suckle the milk, the hairs around the nipples matted. Yeah.
In fact, Dr. Prayag, that was something that I wanted to ask you. There are 2-3 aspects that are in a way glaring lapses going against the standard operating procedure. One, the questions on whether the DNA sampling happened right, was the procedure followed right. The second was obviously the Tiger Conservation Authority says you can't dart a lactating or a pregnant tiger. So was it true what happened in terms of identifying the tiger, identifying that it has cubs, how it's shown in the movie versus what it happened in reality? And finally, the controversial aspect on whether this tiger was actually darted after being shot.
Yeah. So I'll answer the first question. Look, Abarna had done a commendable job before we went there. She had at least documented everything and whatever was possible from our side with the experts available then, she had done a decent job. But there are so many experts, so-called, as rightly told by the great scientists, India has more tiger experts than tigers. So everyone has their opinion, everyone claims to be expert. And probably, if you look at the PM report, there was no report I got through which tells the tiger was responsible. Maximum they wrote was in the PM report, carnivores. Carnivore could be dog also, right? So nowhere in the PM report they mentioned that. That was very funny for me, that how they could pinpoint on this thing. Just because the tiger was there, you can't be putting the blame on tiger. So I went with very fundamentals. When I went there, when I asked, Abhinav was there in the meeting, CCF was there. The first question was asked to CCF then was, what is the scientific proof that this one is a man-eater? So there was a pin drop silence in the meeting. So he told, no, we have orders from above, so we have to capture it. So this was very surprising for me. Just because orders are from above, why to capture? No, then thankfully that night I was a bit disturbed, like why we are doing this entire exercise when we are not very sure that this tiger is responsible for killing. Nowhere in the PM report, nowhere in the all the reports sent to me before I went from Bangalore, I didn't have any doubt that this is not a one. So, however, like we go very systematic. No, then I asked these questions. In the night, we got this photo. We got a photo, and that gave us the idea that this must be lactating, which was like not taken in a good spirit. That all these months, so many experts were there, and no one had that eye for this detailing. I marked that nipple and told, to best of my knowledge, I suspect. In fact, I was very sure, but we have to always give room for other people to pitch in. I told you just confirm us it's not pregnant, then we'll come and capture it. So that was the thing, and I still believe that, and it was proven there that there was one more tiger. Obviously, when this tiger is pregnant, there must be one more male tiger, right? So there can be one tiger. So and when we went and did the forensic where I had Pugmark analysis done, I told that there must be more than one tiger. So, and the photo confirmed that it was pregnant and lactating, in fact. And there was one more leopard also. And in the movie they showed bear. I didn't encounter any bear, Pugmark or any bear. So there was thing. And very funny thing was, all the majority of the killing happens in the weekend. The very pattern in the killing, weekend, except one or two in the weekdays. But most of the killing happened in the thing. And most of the people who had died were older people, most. So if you see the this one and chronology, if you see look, and if, for example, let's assume that this tiger is a man-eater, so-called man-eater that time. The man-eater is the one which has to feed on human flesh consistently, because usually the tigers on average that is a hunt once in a week on average, I'm telling you. So there was a killing, there was a gap for months, few months. Then there was again killing. And believe me, the Maharashtra, Yavatmal is suicide capital of India, right? Farmer suicide rate is more in there. And the compensation package given to victims of human-wildlife conflict is highest in Maharashtra. And that region where I was looking back, the Google bit of research I was doing, they have a human sacrifice in that area, and 2 people have been already punished in that region. So all this was giving me different perspectives.
So you're saying all those 13 who were allegedly killed by the tiger, perhaps might not have been killed by the tiger. There could be other reasons.
Even by DNA, let's come to the DNA part, right? In the movie, they show the guy Vijay Raj takes the DNA, who's a butterfly expert by his own admission in the movie, and he has been trained in some workshop. God knows, one workshop will not give idea. He sends the DNA, and DNA which comes, report comes, they tell this is the same tiger. But in actuality, when they had sent the DNA sample to different labs give a different sex of the tiger. One lab told it's a male, other lab told a female. Imagine, if you take a DNA sample, the DNA sample is sent to 2 or 10 different labs, all the labs should give the same results. That's what is forensics all about. But here they are claiming the sample was taken and it was sent to different labs to avoid bias, for obviously because high profile case, it was almost attracting international attention also, and it reached Supreme Court. So when the 2 reports came, there was no matching of the sex. One lab report, and believe me, these 2 labs are of great repute. They're not some private lab. They are very having a I don't know, name them for obvious reasons. So these 2 labs where the sample was sent carry a great reputation. You can't tell this one. So the very sampling was wrong in that case. और हो सकता है both the tigers have come and heat and this thing. हो सकता है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना. When the sampling is done, there may be contamination. So one lab gave positive, the way you take, probably the way you take was the female tiger. Other sample where you were taken collected from this one, but they were claiming they have sent the same sample, divided sample, sent it. The same sample is collected, sent to different labs. It's a common sense. Both the labs should have given the same results. That was very much confusing for me. So we wrote a report and we just came back. And I still believe, even by their own admission, except for one killing which directs towards the T1, other reports didn't claim that this one. So they mentioned very clearly it's a circumstantial evidence, based on circumstantial evidence. So this is very funny. In the judiciary, there's a beautiful saying: let 100 people, innocent people, let 100 accused, let them scot free. Not one innocent should be punished. That's a tenet of any judiciary. So this we keep hearing in a high-profile case. Chhut gaya, because we don't have evidence. Here
True.
they didn't have evidence. All they had was circumstantial evidence, political pressure being built up. The public were instigated by this Nawab when he was called to this one. He was telling usko marna hi hai. He himself used to know that he himself gave a lot of interview telling that he's a terrorist. So that's one more of instigating. We used to go and tell people nothing to worry. We'll try to capture it. But whereas this guy was going and telling the opposite. So in the movie they don't show that where he's instigating in a certain way. One more thing we did not cover in the movie, which was highlighted. Abarna was made to go to Nawab and ask sorry. That was a national news. A lady officer going to the other night, going to the place where he was staying and asking sorry for no fault of hers. And then it was taken to Maneka Gandhi. She intervened, and veterinarians were given less time to operate, and he was given more access to the that place. And he was operating in night also. Whereas when we went, we were not supposed to operate in night after 6 o'clock when the sun is down. There's a statement in our veterinary: sundown, gun down. We don't operate once the sun sets. Even before sunsets, maybe half an hour before sunsets, we don't operate because entire operation will take at least minimum of 30 to 45 minutes. Darting and tracking it and putting the animal in the cage. The entire operation will take any time, 15 to 30 minutes for minimum. Sometimes it can go as long as 45 minutes because it's done. Yep.
In fact, I wanted to ask you if it was left to the veterinarians and the wildlife experts who were there, what was the idea to save this tiger? What was the plan that the team had?
No, when I went, I was very sure that this is lactating and for another 16 or 18 months, they should not be touched. Right, because Tipesh was very aerially, I think it will be 70 to 100 kilometers aerially. So they must have come from there and they had their own resident carnivores there. And 86 Islands was not clear what to do in case of cubs. So if you pakadna hai, to you have to capture the entire family, right? You can't be leaving the cubs because cubs depend on the mother till they can hunt, right? So my idea was to see that the animals stay there and we take the people in confidence. In fact, before I went, my colleague had built a wonderful enclosure there. Our idea was somehow we should bring this tiger inside the thing with the cubs and let them be there for rewilding purpose also that can be used. But unfortunately, what happened? It had come inside actually. Before I went, Raytan Cobra Gade had attempted it. I think they put the fence, I think 12 feet. It jumped the 12 feet. Usually we have to put a 15 feet and we put a L-shaped thing so that they don't jump. They can anywhere between 12 to 15. They can aram se take a leap of jump. So for me, I think they were in the right track, but except for Nawab's pressure and lot of so-called expert opinion, it was a messed up operation. Obviously, look, when it was shot, in fact, the doctors who went after us, so they all were of the same. I was in touch with every team who went after me. It may be Akhilesh, maybe Maharashtra own veterinarians. I was in touch with them. All were for capturing it, at least from veterinary perspective. And even forest department was not very keen on killing it. It was just this guy using his political strings trying to tell I'm going to capture it. and his intention was to shoot it ultimately what his son did. In the movie, they showed as if the person himself did it. In the reality, it was his son who shot the tiger first. Later, it was covered up as a self-defense theory, which is absolutely hogwash. And both the central committee and state committee, uh, formed by state government and NTCA, as told it's not self-defense, right? And he didn't surrender his weapon. He didn't surrender his weapon, and the entire scene of crime was covered up. And because the moment the photo came to me by Vijay Pinjarkar, I just analyzed it with the pointers I sent him. You can see, I think Times of India was the first paper which published online at midnight, so that we didn't want distortion, or else they would have covered it up, telling that no, this was a self-defense theory. The tiger with yeah, yeah. Look, when you dart a tiger, the tangent, the insertion, everything matters. We are not fools. Look, more than number of tigers he has killed, we have saved. Each veterinarian must have saved more number of tigers or carnivore what he has killed. That's the difference. We are here to save, and saving takes time. Killing is a very easy. Yeah, shooting anyone is not a he was telling Mardangi. It's not shooting or killing is not braveness. Saving is braveness. Killing covered people kill, and that's what exactly his son did.
True.
So now when I look in introspectively, I feel very sad, guilt, frustration. That's the reason I wanted to tell a true story from different perspective. So right now we have the draft of synopsis, and we are writing from different perspective. So let's see. This is our thing, because this has haunted me for quite long time.
So you plan to now document the exact story without any sort of a distortion or taking some creative liberty, whether it's a book or a movie.
No, what I feel is we should get perspective of everyone. Given a choice, I would look. We have enough perspective of Nawab from his interviews, but definitely I would like to look at the perspective of every person who played a major role, how they view this thing. Like, it's all about perspective. One instance happened. Probably, if you interview Nawab, he may convince you that he did the right thing or son did the right thing. So when I look from the political perspective, if I look from the administrative perspective, if you look at the middle management, the ground staff, everyone, they will have a perspective. So I'm trying to bring as much as perspective possible and leave the ending to the final decision to the audience. I think our audience are much more wiser enough to decide. There's a beautiful movie called Talwar and No One Killed Jessica. So something like that. We will just narrate the story from different perspective and leave the audience to make a decision what was right, what was wrong. From my perspective, I'll tell. Definitely, I will have my perspective being a part of the team. I'm writing for sure. There's no doubt about it. Writing because it's haunting me for a long time. Already we have one draft ready. But how it takes turn, it may be a documentary, or it may be a full-fledged movie or web series, or we may publish a book, or we may write a blog. So it all depends how COVID treats us the days to come.
Absolutely.
But definitely, we have a story to tell for sure.
You have a story to tell. Hopefully, that story will give some really good insights on how this entire episode was handled, and probably give some lessons on how to handle human-wildlife conflict. We have quite a few hotspots across the country. Dr. Praya, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thanks, Harish, for giving this opportunity. Very few people do interviews on conservation, and especially wildlife conservation is very few people take interest. Thank you for taking interest and putting me on this your show talk interview. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for joining us today on this show. Well, keep logging into thefederal.com. There are more exclusive stories, analysis, and in-depth stories as well. Thank you.